Morning, everybody. How you all doing? Trying to be on time. Try to be on time. I was conflicted today because Notre Dame starts playing at 12 o'clock. However, Duke University picked up a victory last night, and we also picked up a commit last night. So it's men's basketball season. So I wanted to get in the spirit and support college basketball. If anyone knows me, you know I'm a huge Duke Blue Devil. If you cut me now, I bleed blue, baby. That is what it is. If you cut me now, I bleed blue, and we do not rebuild. We simply reload. I got to keep that clear going on right now. Um, hmm, I had the week from hell. Honestly, it's not a good week. Not horrible. As my man says, first world problems. Nothing again horrible, but work wise, it was rough. I had some visits. In addition to that, I had issues with a particular customer, and that ran pretty much all damn week. A lot of that was outside of my control. Some of it was in my control, and as I had conversations with my teams, like we just didn't execute as precisely as I know we can. So I was a little put off by that, but it led to some long nights, some early mornings, and some rugged conversations with them. My goal has always been to bring the people around me in and help give them the tools they need to move themselves up. If they choose to do that for me or they choose to do that someplace else, I'm fine with that. As long as they have the equipment, the knowledge, the understanding to pay attention, to be detail oriented, to execute on plans, and to set goals, and always look to do better for themselves because the better they do for themselves, the better they do for their families. That is definitely my thing with the people around me. And I surround myself with people like that in my personal life. I mean, Rodney's the dude. Thomas is the guy. Rashi's doing her thing. I don't let that slide by at all. I always try to be around winners. Still and still. That doesn't mean that I don't associate with other people by no stretch of the imagination. I take people for who they are and what they do, and I respect that. But when I let you really close into the circle, that's because I feel that there's something from you that I need, and hopefully there's something from me that you can take, because that's how we win, right? So, yeah, week from now, but I got over it, I got through it. Next week is not going to be as challenging, God willing, the creek don't rise, but it will be different. I'll be in a different locale. I have to travel for work next week, so that's cool. I haven't been out in a while for work, so I'm looking forward to that. But it'll be the same stuff, different day. Lay the foundation, let my people build from that foundation. As long as they follow the roadmap, then everything will be good. Had that conversation with somebody, one of them on Friday, and I'll have the conversation with the whole of them on Monday. Like, you know, when the roadmap is laid, all you got to do is follow the road. It gets bumpy when you get off the map. It gets bumpy when you try to take shortcuts. It gets bumpy when you do what you want to do versus what is needed of you. That's when it gets bumpy. You could say that it's bumpy when you challenge the norm, when you step outside. It absolutely is bumpy like that. But even in that space, you are on a road, you are on a path. It's definitely less bumpy, it's less choppy, it's less of a ordeal when you follow in the footsteps or the pathway that's already been laid. There's no reason for you to go out here and reinvent the wheel that's already been invented. You can improve upon it, but why reinvent it? It's already here. Thomas has been working to get the watch up and going. He hit everybody this morning. He said, "Hey, It's all the way live. It's all the way out there. I did it. He's here. I'm not going to speak for him. He has more than enough voice to do that for himself. But first thing did when I saw it was like, man, I'm proud of you. Congratulations. You know, keep pushing, and that's what we should do. When you get stagnant in life, for me, um, it's not a good place to be. Every now and again, you need to be still. You need to reorient yourself and find your north. Nothing wrong with that. But if that's your everyday, then how much are you really providing for yourself, your family, and others? Because you never know who's watching, man. You just never know who's watching. You never know who's paying attention to you. You never know whom you might light a fire under or set a spark for or motivate to think outside of their confined space. You never know. You never know. I know I'm very bad at posting photographs. I'm huge at going places and doing this and doing that, but I'm not quick to post photographs. One of the reasons is I don't want y'all motherfuckers to know where the hell I'm at. That's number one. You don't need to be on my business like that. Number two is I want to take a moment to enjoy those moments by myself, for myself, before I then put it out in the public and then people comment, share, whatever. I went to an event Wednesday night, I want to say. I want to say it was Wednesday night. It was called Flavor. Oh, yeah. It was the launch of a new what are those shows that's on like Love and Hip Hop? What's the things called? Reality TV shows. It was the launch of a new reality TV show and the inside information of a food festival that's happening here in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? It's some sisters, they've gotten themselves together and they're putting together a food festival here in Atlanta. So that was dope. That was really, really dope. Food was good. Crowd was nice. Thomas, I wish you were here. Ooh, I wish you were here for that one. That was really nice. That was dope. And I think it took me. No, that's not true because that was this business. So I put that out there fairly quickly. I think I put that out there the next day, and people seem to have liked that and stuff, and that's cool. You know, uh, I'm always looking to get in those streets and put our name out there and do some other stuff. I even wore the Real Radio hat to make sure that I'm getting better when I'm in the streets, especially covering events that I am doing the advertising bit and just giving folks something different to look at and inside view, I guess, or as to what we do and how we do it. So yeah, it was it was a rough week in general, but I'm still standing. God's still looking over me. Thank God. I am looking forward to Thanksgiving. It's a celebration I spend with my brother and his family every year. It's become more and more of a tradition. Just found out another one of my friends is back in the area, so I'm looking forward to seeing that cat because I haven't seen that cat. Shit, I don't think I've seen Nate Booth since '93. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. One of my other brothers came in. I didn't know he was coming. And I called his ass Veterans Day. He was like, "Yo, I meant to call you. I'm down." I'm like, okay. So we were able to get together. I sound like Rashi with that one, didn't I? Okay. I was able to get together with him for a high tech and we linked and broke some bread, caught up a little bit. He said he might be coming down for a job opportunity. And I said, that's what's up. But you know me. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here. And that's real. And potentially after this week, meaning next week when I go away for work, it may get even realer because I had some conversations with my boss's boss, and she was kind of preparing me for the next move. She was like, "So who do you have that you could see taking your place if I were to move you?" I was like, "Well, blah 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 blah. Okay. Well, who would take their place? Blah 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 blah." Okay, left it alone. A little while later, so you think that they're ready? I'm like, yeah, okay. Left it alone. A little while later, how soon do you think you could transition if I were? I'm like, okay, hold on, time out, time out, time out. I'm seeing the road signs. What's going on? I'm just thinking, okay, I got you. I got you. That's cool. I ain't bad. How you doing, brother? How are you?
Man, I'm solid, bro.
Solid.
Just trying to keep it together. Matter of fact, I'm off. Let me handle my candle with getting this out. But how you doing this morning, man? I heard the early part of it, man. You good?
Yeah, bro. Just Sister Rashi, I'm gonna get to you in half a second. I ain't forget about you at all. It's just one of them situations, man, where I know I put my best foot forward. I know I've stressed to these cats time and again how we should move and how we should act. And they just have not executed to the level of my expectation.
Mm,
And
I,
it's not for lack of me informing them. It's not for lack of me not showing them. It's for lack of them, in my personal opinion. No, that's not true. In my professional and personal opinion, for them not seeing it. And I really don't know how much more I can give them for them to see it. So it's getting very much borderline where I'm like, okay, I may see more in you than you see in yourself. And if that is the case, then I may need to open up hiring again.
right,
Because if you ain't seeing it, if you're not willing to understand the potential here, I'm going to make sure I have people in place to understand it. Because God willing, the creek don't rise. I do move. I do not want this place to fall just because I put too much trust in people who were not ready, who did not see it, who did not believe in it.
the wrong folks.
Yeah, and that's some grown up activity. That's and
You
I've
said
shared with them my story. I haven't even been with the company for 4 years yet. It'll be 4 years in February this year coming.
right.
This is my second move.
You s- you
Who
sound
does that?
you sound like me.
Man, who does that? You know what I'm saying? Like, where they do that? What part of the game is that? You know what I mean?
No
So
doubt.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm letting them know, like, yo, this is real. Like, this can really happen for you at the drop of a dime, especially if you're flexible. Because
Mhm.
I work for a global entity. You can you can go wherever. You
Just
can
got
literally go wherever, but you gotta be flexible.
yeah. You
I
sound
can't make you see it.
You sound like me with my team this week, just making sure part of the reason why I dropped today was because, I had a cousin who passed away yesterday. And I was up thinking,
Sorry to
like,
hear that.
if something happened to me, like, this app ain't gonna never come out
Mm,
because my team ain't ready. They ain't trying to get ready. And so, and that's not to throw them under the bus.
not at all. It's
No.
the reality.
Salute to my brother Olu. He told me 15 years ago, he said, brother, if you in a situation where people have never built a table, how do you expect them to operate properly? We're asking people to do things that they haven't done. You're trying to start a company and you're talking to people that's only been employees, right? So you
They
ask,
can't see it. And if they can't see it for them, how the
yeah,
hell do you do it?
100%,
Give you that audacity.
100%. And and that's not a knock to any of our folks out there. Matter of fact, it's really just inspiration to keep trying and keep growing. And it's okay. You're gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna make mistakes along the way as well. Nothing's perfect, but you just got to keep pushing. And so, with that in mind, I said, man, I've been grinding on this. This thing looking good. Like I'm saying, this thing looking good. And I said, man, you know, uh, hit the button. I just woke up this morning like, F it, hit the button. And I woke up with that on my mind, like, yo, I'm gonna hit this button because it ain't got to be perfect. Like it ain't got to be perfect, but it has to be effective, and it's effective. And so
Yes.
we'll work on the perfection at that point. And for anybody who's out there, because I ran across, and let me say this to y'all too, there's systems changers and there's system maintainers. The maintainers have 1,000 questions because of the cognitive dissonance of how are you going to upheaval their boss. They done got degrees. They done got all kinds of other promotions and everything else to
They didn't
operate
got comfortable.
to
They
operate
got comfortable.
this system. And here you come talking about shaking up the system And then they got to question you 24, and they don't even understand what they doing when they do it, right? They don't get it. I had a brother asking me like, so this piece about selling, I don't know about the data piece because I mean, yeah, you're gonna sell the police information, but what about the you? I'm like, bro, if we trying to reform the police, don't we got to show the data that they effing up, that we got the data? And then that's your argument. Then I thought about it. I said, oh, he's a system maintainer. He ain't there to change it. Even though he works and he talks like he wants to change the system, he's a system maintainer. And so, man, I mean, I don't want to call him all that, but you get what I'm saying. I just feel like
I'll call a spade a spade.
but I feel good after doing it. And I'll put out a video and roll out some stuff, show people how to do it and how to go about doing it. So that they can utilize it today. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You can utilize it today. You can utilize it right now, matter of fact.
Well, you said you wanted to do some stuff on the show, so whenever you're ready, you can have the wheel and you can drive that and make that work. So that's
Oh,
what's up.
I appreciate y'all.
Morning, Sister Rashi. How you doing? We ain't forgot about you.
I'm
You
well.
know
How you brothers doing? I've had a fairly challenging week myself. Um, they
what
it's
happened was.
well, people when they start turning their heat and stuff on, it make the children sick. When the
Mm,
children get sick, they bring it to the school, and it's
mm,
just it's just a respiratory something that's sweeping my school, and I think it's sweeping more than the school. It's too many sick people for it to just be my school. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And I got caught up in the middle stages of it towards this middle of the week. And I pretty much told them, I'll see y'all when I feel better.
Mm,
Unfortunately, um, because of the nature of my job, I was told, yeah, well, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. And it was like literally, be here, like literally they said, be here tomorrow. And I was
mm.
like, is that legal? If I tell you I don't feel well and I got PTO, shouldn't I be able to use said PTO? But when systems, and let's talk, when systems have only a few, actors in there that can make a difference, they don't care about how you feel. They care about the, and so
You,
they want. Uh huh.
no, no. I was trying to finish your sentence with you. I thought you was going to say they worried about keeping them badass kids in check.
Right. So when you trying to keep us maintain a system as a whole, and the system is, of course, keeping badass children in check. The people who can do such work, they don't hear you sick, they don't hear that, they don't really hear anything you say because they are so dependent on your overall basic level of functioning
mm,
that if you tell them, hey, guess what, this actual level of functioning is hurting me as an individual, they're like, but it works. Like, it works. Like, we don't have fights, or we don't have children roaming the halls, or we don't have. Oh, and look, more importantly, here goes some data to support and show you how important your personal burnout is
mm,
to the overall system.
mm,
And so, what I'm coming up against is um, what I call the trifecta. I have my own personal life that is getting a little weird over here because I'm telling you, I'm a 51-year-old woman who sleeps in a room with her sister. Okay, I'm not even gonna go there. Uh, okay, just let me know when my sister came back to heal herself, and I'm not gonna go in that. We're not gonna go in that pocket. Let's just say
Okay.
to heal herself, quote unquote. There, it ain't nowhere for her to be but in here with me. She could either sleep in there with her mama, or she could sleep in here with me. And so you eventually have to fold in like another system where even if it's burning you out, not being able to rest, not being able to the system requires you to be accommodated. The system requires it. And so, and am I the kind of woman who tell my sister, get out there and find somewhere to sleep? No, you sleep right here. I don't care if I sleep less, we both get to sleep right here. So, between family life and this respiratory virus that's sweeping the nation, I don't care. I don't think it's COVID, but it's a new virus out, and it's too many people sick with it for me to think it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
And then my personal life, my physical health, and then the actual constraints and demands put placed upon me to maintain statistical growth. Like that's all they care. They need data and statistical growth. And so that's how they can prove that they worthy of the federal dollars that's getting channeled into the institution. And so I'm a part of that statistical growth because I don't really fuck around when I stand in front of a classroom. I'm not about to catch no L because nobody hard headed. You understand? I don't do statistical loss because Billy want to be a badass. I will
Mm.
contact Billy's. I told him I'm gonna make your uncle or your grandpa my boyfriend, and if you don't pass this test, I'm gonna break his heart for Thanksgiving, baby. He gonna be at that table crying. Okay, so, but more importantly, I let him know I'll show up at the house. I'll not in on some bullshit, but like, what can we do to get this? I'll show up at grandma's house. I
Mm.
mean, I've done it before. So I've had two daddies had to come and get a mini lesson because they had the little boy on the weekend. So I told him, well, guess what your weekend is? Because he didn't do nothing this week. If I could get you to come in after school for 30 minutes, I'm going to show you how to make him do work for you since he won't do
Mm.
it for me. So that kind of dedication comes with a little bit of burnout, and if you're sick or if you have a family, caveat going on in your life, you 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 would want to be able to tell your job, hold up, swole up, I got to handle. And unfortunately, I'm a part of a system that does not fully recognize my right, my God-given right, right? I mean, am I
They don't
tripping?
respect your time. They don't
They
respect your
do not,
space.
and I'm finna act Maxine Waters on they ass. Don't make me get to reclaiming my time, because me and I will give Maxine on they ass in a minute. I got more than 200 hours of PTO. I'll fuck around in FMLA on they ass if they keep going, because all you got to do is get one or two doctors to pull you out the fold, and they pay 75% on the dollar for whatever they was gonna pay. You understand? So I'm trying to explain to my boss and my coworkers the capacity at which we're working is detrimental. It looks like it works, but it's costing the people who's doing the work dearly. We got about 4 or 5 different instructors who are down and are not coming out. They're not coming back out. They have clocked out on them permanently.
Mm.
And so the system I work under is very taxing. And I've been in there trying to be a motherfucking super trooper. Well, mostly because I'm new. I'm not new. Y'all know I'm not new, but I'm new, not new. You
So,
understand?
so Rashi, what do you all get for break? So when does your break start?
Well, I had one earlier this week. I told you. But my next break is a week after next, and that was the argument talking about. Well, can't you just hold on? Hell no. A week to somebody who is unwell and psychologically taxed could be the week that I come in there and go postal. You understand?
Sure.
Now, do you
Especially
all?
under the. Mhm.
No, no. I'm just trying to ask a question.
I was
I'm
I was
just
gonna
trying to
finish. I was trying to finish the thing the question you asked. Go ahead.
No, I got you. I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was just trying to ask another question. Do you all get the entire week off, or you
Yes,
just get a
sir.
couple?
Yes, sir. Every time
Okay.
they tried to play that game, time they tried to play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it was at least 50% of people gone on Monday. And so they just said, okay, because not just the kids leave, people start taking, and they try to make it a black. They tried to say this is a blackout week, meaning
Mm,
you can't
mm,
take Monday, Tuesday. We
Mm.
give you Wednesday, Thursday. Well, the government give you Thursday. We consider Wednesday a gift, and Friday we all know that that's a travel day. And so they tried the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. People start taking off the Friday before Monday too. Okay, they start talking about I'm sick, and so they couldn't justify it. All the punishment they were giving all the instructors and stuff for not coming in on Monday and Tuesday. So now we get the entire week, but we call it the fall break. All
okay.
right, the fall break. Now here's the issue. We come straight back and we only in there for 2 weeks. And
For
then we go
Christmas.
back and then we go right back out for not Christmas, winter holiday. winter holiday. So I'm looking, and I'm like, well, what was I supposed to do? Literally, from November the 29th till December the 18th. What am I supposed to do?
Mm.
No, how
You
much
said,
learning? If you know, how much learning do you think these children are going to do, Thomas,
I was about to
from
say,
November the 29th to December the 18th? And I'm like, but they are blackout days. So that means it don't matter what is happening to me. If I take those particular days out, they're not going to pay me.
Mm-mm.
now, do you see where school years getting longer and longer with more breaks happening?
They have
Or
to. They have to. Let me tell you what just happened to me this week. I got reprimanded by my boss for calling a child his full name.
huh?
Okay. He does not like his name. He's a junior. His father was abusive. His mother killed him.
Oh
And so
wow.
when you call him his name, it's a trigger.
Mm.
Mm, mm,
You hear me?
mm, mm.
So, but I'd like to go on the record for those who listen and saying I never called him by his name because he's already called me a stupid ass, fat ass, black, stupid ass, fat black bitch, dumb bitch for calling him accidentally his last name. So I called him the name he prefers. However, it has not shifted the actual behavior. So I don't get to, I don't talk to the gentleman no more. Honestly, I can't, I don't know how to navigate this situation. I
Mm.
actually don't. He has more pull with the principal than I do. He went down there and said I called him by his first name, and she sent me an email telling me I'm being antagonistic and taunting him. I had to line up students to ask them, did I actually say his name? No, no. You understand? I had to say, when I was teaching today, did you hear me call his name? And I had to have a line of students go to the principal and convince her that I did not call a little boy by his government name.
You got a white principal?
No, not white, but she is definitely on the side of the parent, and very little you can't explain to her. I never called him. She won't hear it. I never
Is
called him
she
by his name.
is she young?
No, she's not young, and more importantly, she's supposed to be a friend of mine. I've been knowing her more than 10 years. In fact, she called me and asked me to come to the school and work for her. She literally called me and said, come work for me. So, and she knows that this other little boy has a history of issues, like serious issues. So when you call and
She
send me
hating
a
on you, Rashi.
so
She
when you
hating on you
send
about
me an
something.
email, so no, that's not it. It's a series of different things happening, and I'm asking like, how can I be? I'm no threat. I am no threat. Let me let you know. I'm learning. I'm not learning the content. I can teach pretty much any subject matter. I'm learning what to do when a child stand up and say, "Shut the fuck up, you stupid ass, fat ass, black ass bitch." What do you do with that?
Pootie
I would
tang.
Because
be fine.
Pootie
there,
tang.
you
Yeah, I'd be
cannot.
fine.
Okay,
Yeah, I'd be fine.
okay. So I have called every resource officer. I said I called him one man in the building who got muscles to get the little boy out the room, and I done everything. He didn't stab. He punching little kids in the back. He called it. Hey, he's sexually harassing women who come into the classroom. Like it's a
How old is the
total.
boy?
He is 11 or 12. He's 12 now. But this is what his
He got
family
his cell already
has
ready.
allowed. I'm telling you, his family has allowed, and because they are afraid, it's a whole fear system. Like literally, Thomas, the principal is scared of the parent, and like you seen the may going through. The principal scared of the parent, and the parent is scared of the child, and the child ain't scared of shit.
You know, the only thing that I say in those situations, because I've heard that a lot, is that if that young man has some type of special ed need or whatever the case may be, schools choose those dollars over faculty all the time.
Say it again. Say it again. He definitely is an alphabet boy. You know he got them alphabets, Tom. And so you cannot say or do anything.
Raji. Tom, I got triggered. I got triggered, Raji. I got triggered.
See, that's exactly how it works. See that? And
Hey,
so now,
I'm gonna
that's
tell you what.
exactly how it works.
I'm gonna tell you because my father, his name was Thomas, and he hated the name Thomas, so he just went by Tony, right? But I go by Thomas. The Tom, yeah. But I will say this.
Okay, thank you. That's exactly what's happening to me every day. I have to stop and say, wait, I can't call him Thomas. I literally the little boy say his name was Thomas.
Right.
I cannot call him Thomas. I have to call him Tomo. His
So
preferred derivation of his actual right. And so everybody else, I get to call their first or last name, Mr. This and Miss This. Please, Mr. Dickerson or Miss Jones, to have a seat. Him, I can only call Tomo.
So we'll talk offline. I think I could probably help you in this situation for having those type of students in the classroom and learning how to appeal to their better nature, if you will, to get them to step up. And I've learned that using the element of disappointment and not anger makes those young men and ladies want to appease and do better in the classroom. And we'll talk about that.
All right, and I'll be right here waiting because honestly, until I get something to do with this particular, it's three particular. There's one who's at the top of the pyramid of stress.
Okay.
But he has two minions that he can activate at any time.
Yeah.
And so that pyramid makes me want to clock out on Monday. Like I literally don't want to go to work on Monday.
No, I understand. And I hate to hear that. You know, I know a lot of educators go through that. I just know, like, I've learned, like, it's just different tools you have to use for each student and kids like that. I had a young man who was like that in my classroom. And, you know, I just started calling him Young Lion. And the aspect of calling him Young Lion outside of just calling him his regular name, and he wanted to be that guy. And he recognized what a lion is. And, you know, it helped with the behavior, which impacted his education and his what he did academic wise. But it was just being able to use endearment and proximity to say, no, man, I'm not letting you come in here and cut the fool. I got expectations for you. And then bridging that relationship. And sometimes it's hard. And it's every student ain't the same way. I had another student that, you know, he was going to do the punching behind the head. And then we found out his stepfather was at home beating his mother. And he wanted to come to school and do the same thing to his fellow students. And so that was a harder situation. But I figured out a way to get to him too. Unfortunately, you know, I had to tell his stepfather in front of him, I'll whoop his ass and not think twice. But, you know, sometimes.
Right. And so I've been busted down with this particular family, Barry, to where I cannot speak to. I prefer not to speak actually to the young man because I'm not skilled enough yet on how to prime work out of him without him being he's oppositional. If you want him to get up, he get under the desk. If you want him to get under the desk, he stand on top of the desk. If you want him to get in line, he run around the classroom. If you want him to write, he throw the pencil. If you want, and if he don't throw the pencil, he stab a student with it. And it's just a constant. And he's skilled, baby. And this is what really bothers me. He's not special needs in the way that the alphabets behind his thing think or trying to say he is. That's not actually it. Like he's been misdiagnosed, I think, because they think he's special. But he is so incredibly manipulative. It's impossible for him to be as special needs as they say because he's too skilled in how to manipulate even adults.
So Rashi, remember we had this conversation a while ago, and I was telling you that sometimes what happens is kids get misdiagnosed, and it's not a chemical imbalance. It's not even a learning disability. It's the culture inside of the home. And that culture inside of the home creates behaviors and it creates delays that impact their learning capabilities. And then being able to shift that into a structure and environment where they feel like they're valued, where they feel like they love. And that's the one thing that I've learned. Maybe your principal need to learn this too, is that kids actually perform better under rigor and structure. And they actually like rigor and structure and they respect it more than just laying down. And anytime when I hear people like trying to give in to whatever the child is doing, and I'm listening, I'm like, oh, this is why you having such a hard day. And my classroom, I'm serious, and this ain't me bragging. You can talk to my peers. You can come to my classroom and hear a pin drop. But it wasn't because of just me or bravado. It was rigor, it was structure, but we played as hard as we worked. And they wanted to get to the play. But they knew we were not going to play
That's right.
until we got to work. So my
They
thing,
ready. I'm
Monday,
incentivizing it. Listen, I'm up to $410.
yeah,
I'm talking about wing stop. I'm talking about recess. We the only kids to go to wing. Come on, go order some wing stops for some damn 12-year-old. They'll think you the they'll put you on top, baby. It take chicken wings. It take
yeah,
chips and punch
yeah,
every other Friday because for
yeah,
science camp. I told them, y'all come on with the incentives. I got you. I
no,
ain't got no man,
that's it.
and I'm double bunked with my sister sharing rent. Y'all got the right food. I got you, boo. What we want? We want to go down to Science City. I can take 10 of my best students. Are you the one? So throughout the building, I'm known as someone who can get children to behave a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're putting people with me
You getting
who
your
they think I'm okay. Now this particular child I gotta teach every day anyway. It's not quite that situation. However, putting it's a taxing system.
There you go.
If you are good, you have to do more.
yeah.
If you are calm and you have structure, that structure you're talking about, Barry, then
Mm-hmm.
they want to put as many students under that structure as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's my dilemma, and I've been trying to talk to what I thought was my homegirl principal boss, and between when she something happened when she got her principalship, or when I became her, de facto employee, our friendship just dissolved into some funky bullshit. And so I didn't, I don't know how to tell her, hey man, can you put your principal hat off real quick? I want to talk to you like literal homegirl to home, black woman to black woman homegirl.
You got that
But
check.
but once you put that administrative hat on, they don't take it off for nothing. They don't care about the relationship that you fostered with them before they got that check. Cause she would have seen, cause she called me for a reason, Barry. You don't call Johnson for no reason, cause I'm a demon. So if you're gonna call me, it's cause you wanted something in particular to happen,
So
right?
yeah,
So
but
then why you don't let me do what you hired me to do? I'm telling you
I think
that
really,
Voldemort over here is fucking it up.
I
And
think,
instead of going with me, she's siding with Voldemort.
I think Lee is kind of like giving you some gems that if you really understand, and maybe it's not hate per se. So I'll give you an example, and I know they want to Rodney's here, so we're gonna hop into our topics.
Right. We don't even have to give me an example. We can
Oh,
talk
no,
offline
no, no, let me
because
tell you.
I don't want to, I'm not here to,
I want to give you a quick example about this principal. I work with a principal, and she would tell everyone, "Do not give candy to these children whatsoever." God is tell everybody. I've seen her reprimand coworkers for it. I had a student that was known for punching girls in the eye, male student. I go into
What the
the
hell's wrong with these kids?
man, listen, watch his mama get beat up, so he
I'm
feel like
telling you, y'all not listening to us. You better get to listening to these teachers.
and so then I go up in the principal office because I had to print off some stuff to send to some parents. Why is he sitting on a tablet eating Skittles, Rashi? And when I asked, who gave you this tablet?
She
And
did.
who gave you the Skittles?
Or the Skittles.
Because he didn't punch the student in my classroom. He did this on the bus. So he ended up in the office before he got to class. Right? And he's like, oh, Tony gave it to me. Every time I come here, she gives me Skittles and a tablet. I said, what? And I'm asking her in the meeting, like, how are you telling people? Then I realized the thing is, it's a competitive piece. If they're behaving for you, Rashi, and they're not behaving for her, it's like, what are you doing? And so I got to throw those hurdles your way, because in some instance, you are messing with my ego, because what you doing that I can't do. But we can talk about that later. But that's
baby, I don't suffer fools. I tell them I done got rid of 2 husbands, 1 daddy, 1 brother. I'm halfway to my sister. I have no homegirls, no homeboys. If you show me some fuckery, I'ma call you on it. Y'all is it. This is it. My two online brothers and my online de facto semi daddy. This is it. This is it. This is it. Okay, because
Rodney, you got
everything,
another daughter.
baby, and he had another daughter 5 years ago when we rode in the Tote Monster, and I was like, y'all leave my daddy's truck minivan alone. So that's
And he
right.
got it back on the road, by the way. He got it
How the
back on the
fuck,
road. Like,
Rodney, you are not dry. Okay, we're not going
yes,
there.
he is.
Oh, no,
Yes.
actually, this is an excellent segue, because you listeners, you better go revitalize your minivan and put that motherfucker back on the road, because the prices of a car, the prices of maintaining a new purchase are finna bite you in the ass. So, Mr. Rodney, school them on how you revitalize the old instead of going with the new.
Hey, it's all about the dollar bills, yo. It costs about $350 a month if you don't pay for your car in cash. And so every month I drive that old van that took me and brought me to the gathering last night, took me and brought me to Alex's dinner downtown the night before. Hey, that's $350 a month I still have in my pocket. So
Shit,
it's easy math.
my car payment damn near more than damn near double 350 for real.
Hmm.
For my new one, yeah, that. Well,
Barry,
it's not.
you own your unit. You own your travel unit.
so
That's
my
not 7. It's close.
so I currently, my car broke down, so I'm looking to get me a new Mercedes or something, and
Oh
that's
my God, Barry! The police stole my car 2 weeks ago.
the police.
Police.
Hey man, that's crazy. Nah,
Hold
hey,
on.
Okay, okay,
How
okay.
did
Let
the
me fix it.
police
Okay,
steal
see,
your
so
car?
when the police finds you without a license in
yeah.
a car that you haven't registered, with tags from a different car, with tickets pending from court dates you haven't been to, they act mad weird on you, man. They act real weird. They start getting real fucking petty on you and shit. But let me tell you how deep I am. They got a record or something on Johnson in the record. So he said he should have arrested me. Honestly, I should be in jail. He said,
Hold on.
ma'am, he
Stop.
said, ma'am, can you
Stop
please
the
get out
story.
of your car and walk away? But on the ticket it say I got arrested. But the police told me to get out of the car and get my shit
Uh,
and walk away. I said, oh, okay. So I don't know
Right.
what's on my name in the system, but they would rather say they arrested me and I ran away than actually arrest me. I don't know what that's about.
Right. Did you say you didn't have a license?
Okay,
The
I've been
car
working
was
on that. I've been working on that.
the car wasn't registered.
Okay, see, I know I bought it 5 years ago, but see what happened was is I didn't quite have the okay. Yeah. But
are
they
you
stole my laundry too. All my clothes was in the car. I was going to the laundromat. They stole my work clothes too.
Hold on, I'm not finished. And you said you had tags on it from
See,
another
they
car.
had took the other car when they gave me the ticket last time. They took my tags, so my niece had to give me the tags from her broken Lexus, and so but it was from 2024. So I had to listen.
you gotta man. We gonna hey
They
Ross.
was acting mad weird. The police was being weird, bro.
Okay, hold on. So you don't have a driver's license?
Well, see, what happened was, is I had got falsely accused of an accident about 15 or 20 years ago. And I told them that wasn't me, but they would feel I had such a bad lawyer. He knew it wasn't me. Okay, this is how bad my lawyer was. he was hired by the nigga who actually did the accident. That he was such a shitty lawyer that I still got charged with the motherfucking crime. Like it's okay. Never mind. Never mind. I can't. Oh, never mind.
This is really this is wrecking my brain. Yeah, we're gonna get to our topics, but this is wrecking my brain. So when you
Oh,
came to
God.
Baltimore,
Oh
you
my.
didn't have a driver's license then?
Oh no, I didn't have no that car. My car was still under the technically owned by the Arab dude that I had bought it from. Cause see, I had only owned the car about 4 or 5 months when I saw you in Baltimore. So I was coasting on Muhammad's Saud Muhammad
But
didn't
you
take
didn't have a driver's license. That's my question.
right, and I got real scared in North Carolina because I was doing 97. But fortunately, there was a truck in front of me doing 99. So he pulled the truck over instead of me. So I didn't have to go to prison in North Carolina. Okay, look. I bought the car and I've been paying the little things and stuff or whatever, but the whole thing together was more than one check. So by the time you try to hold a third of a check, and I was doing it. But then I would hit summertime, fellas, and I didn't get pay over the summer.
Oh
So
man.
I had to live on the savings that I should have got my life right with. It don't matter. It don't matter. But let me tell you the
Yeah.
fortunate part. Let me tell you the good part.
Okay,
Whether
what's the
I'm
good
not going to go get my
part?
car.
Nothing wrong
I
with
am
the
gonna
face.
I'm gonna start all over. I'm gonna get right with the Lord. I've called the people. I called the people.
Okay,
They
you
say
called the people.
I'm about $300 worth of tickets and fines and stuff away. I'm gonna pay them fines. I'm
Okay,
gonna go see the white man in the black robe. I'm gonna
okay.
tell him I'm a lowly sixth grade fucking science teacher. I'm gonna wear my bustedest outfit, no teeth. I'm gonna go shine some gums because you know you can't show up with your you gotta look fucked up if you're a black person. If you go to court looking rich, they play with your life. If you go to court looking poor, they try to help a poor negress like me. All right. So I'm gonna show up, no teeth, raggedy outfit to the court with the tickets. I'm gonna pay as much as I can and I'm gonna get right with the Lord. But let me let y'all know something,
You gonna use EBT card?
baby. Let
I
me
was
let you know.
like,
I wish I could. It ain't nothing on that card. You know, they just start putting $12 and $13 on there.
oh my
So it ain't no
god.
point in bringing the EBT card. They been to took that money when I started making $19 an hour. They took that, and then both of
Mm.
us, all three of us know 19 don't do it.
Yeah, damn sure don't.
19 won't do nothing for you to take my stamps. Anyway, so yes, Thomas, while your car is broken, my car is sitting in a tow lot with at least 4 loads of wet laundry. So
Oh.
whoever get my car is gonna die of black mold. Aha, 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 aha. Now, whoever buy that motherfucker is gonna have to take all the seats out, the upholstery, the whole window's gonna be fogged over with mold because they catch me going to the laundry mat. And I told him, I said, brother, can you at least catch me in the 2 hours? I'm gonna be done with the laundry. You can catch me at 4020 Benton. You can take the car, but at least I have work clothes. He said, say thank you. And I said, why? He said, because I'm not taking your ass to jail.
Mm.
He said, your ass to jail. And I looked at that man and said, well, thank you, and walked the fuck off.
Yeah,
Oh
because he
my
could have sent you to jail.
He
God.
should have sent, in fact, he told the system he did. So apparently, maybe I'm a refugee.
All right, so you wrecked my whole brain. But
That's hilarious.
going back to your point in the transitionary period, yes. Um, you talking $50,000 is the cost average cost of a car nowadays. That is way too damn high. I think this goes back. I cannot blame Trump for this. This goes back to the misery that was put upon us when Obama put in place the Cash for Junkers program. It was way too damn expensive. I'm sorry, way too damn um, well received. It was way too damn well received, and that was when the used car market got out of hand. It was way too successful. The used car market got way out of hand. So here we are at again damn near $50,000 for a basic damn car, which is insane. Yeah, my car payment's about $550 a month. It's about $550. Yeah, it's
Good
$550.
Lord.
Yeah, yeah, it's like $536, some crap like that a month. Yeah, that is the
That's almost a
look.
mortgage.
My credit, yeah, my credit's good. You know what I'm saying? But it's still five
That's what
fifty
I
a
wanted
month.
to add at 550. What's your? I mean, I ain't trying to be, because see, asking people what their APR is like asking,
Nah,
are
nah,
you a poor?
nah. I'm not.
According
I'm
to the
not Rodney.
interest rate, are you
I'm
a
not
poor?
Rodney Smith 3. I'm not Rodney Smith 3%. I think I got it at 8.3 or some crap like that.
Mr.
So
Rodney, they get you at 3%. Hey, by the way, listeners, I'm a double digit APR nigga.
nah. I ain't there. Nah, I ain't there. Nah, sis, I'm good.
So, could you
I'm good.
explain to
Hell,
people what we talking about? Most people don't even know what we talking about.
well, like you said, uh the annual percentage rate, and on any loan, they're going to charge you interest, and that's just your interest. Just another way of saying interest. Uh, I think this is my fifth car with Navy Federal, so they're very gracious when I call and ask them if can I get another car. They're like, oh yeah, you good, yeah, we know you good. So this is through them as well. I was actually
You're
looking at
not quite
refinancing.
explaining it
I'm gonna
right.
ask USAA, will they refinance it and see
Okay,
what that comes
listeners, what we're talking about is based on your credit history and what you done fucked over in your finances in the past, divorces, apartments you've been evicted in from, bills that you have been unable to pay. Sometimes it's just your age, right, Mr. Rodney? They don't like to play with people from 18 to 21. And I don't think they like to play with them 70-year-olds off pushing too, because they don't know if they're going to do a return on interest, right? So, depending on how old you are and how responsible you have been with your money, when you go to make a big ticket item purchase, a car, a house, a boat, come on. I don't know what else is people buying. I guess a Birkin bag, whatever it is you're trying to make a big ticket item purchase on. If you don't have cash on hand, you have to then ask people who have cash on hand to give you said money. And they say, okay, cool. But you might be one of them funny actors who don't give me my money back. Or we have to make money for the act of lending you money. So, depending on your viability as a person to be lended to, they will give you a different APR. And I think this is racism. I like to go on the form as
It's
saying
not
this is
racist. Well,
okay,
it is
okay, all right.
racism to a degree.
Okay, Mr. Rodney, you shook your head. Can you please tell them why I think this is
It's
active
racist. It's
racism?
racism to a degree.
Well, in a nutshell, it's because the factors that they use to determine what a credit rating is are typically adverse factors for black people. And so, because of that, it's built into the system. It is inherently racist towards black people. So, we will pay greater interest. Your location sometimes could even play a role in it.
You don't even have to be a poor. You just live
Right.
with poors.
With poor. Well,
So once
hell.
you have gotten that credit, okay, now listen to me, listeners. If you get that college credit card and you don't get right with it, right? If you rent an apartment with your man and he leave you in the apartment and you eventually have to leave with a negative rent value. If you get a car that gets wrecked and you have not fully paid for it and your insurance don't cover the total. Like it's a lot of ways to get into pores, right, Lee? If you
Hmm.
if you get divorced from the breadwinner and you the poor and you go immediately into the system after he take his money out of the household, you get a higher APR rate. So when you get ready, even if you have some of your money, you didn't worked all year, at your CNA job, and you got your money, some of it, and you get ready to buy a car that can get you back and forth to work. You buy in the little two bedroom, one bath bungalow in your community that's supposed to keep you housed, stuff like that. When they get ready to loan you the money, they do an assessment of who you are as an individual financially. And they start tacking on, and this is the sick shit, extra money for you based on how scary you are as a loan interest. So I am extremely scary. Mr. Rodney is not scary at all. And Lee didn't tell you, but he's in a single digit AP. So there are people who have, when they get ready to
Whatever.
borrow money. Look, the last car I begged the government for, they told me I was at 14% APR. What kind of
Ooh, good
bullshit?
Lord.
They told me I was so poor.
Good
Me
Lord.
and my immigrant husband, we were so poor. They wanted a 14% APR. We was in that motherfucking office so long trying to call somebody who wasn't racist. I don't care what you call it, Lee. That's all we were looking for was somebody who wouldn't racist us. We was in there, so the lowest we got was 11. I am a double digit APR, and I think this is a valid conversation
You
because
need to join the credit union.
people, I'm with Mazuma. It's a local credit union. I went straight to them because when we got through fucking over the money, Lee, Bank of America wouldn't issue me a credit card. It
Right.
wouldn't because when you play with the hello people, if you too poor, you can't get a bank account.
Yeah, you're right.
And so people don't
Unless
understand.
unless you go through a credit union. Now
Or
that
your
is the
job.
advantage of
You
credit
have to
union.
get a job who mandates you to have a deposit system, and then they'll try to give you a fake ass. I don't know what you call it, but it's a fake
Look,
ass
little
account.
little credit card joint, the little pay card.
Come on, somebody help me. I know I'm not stupid. I got one where they give you an account, but don't come asking them for no fucking loan because they'll slap the shit out of you. It's
Mm,
literally just like a bank transfer monitoring system where because your job insists on giving you your pay via electronically, they
right.
can't cut you a check. Somebody has to offer you an account.
Mm.
Okay, this is how deep it got in the street. So there are going to be several people on our listening poll who don't understand what I'm talking about. I got to. But hear this, we're about to hit some financial funny money times, meaning, yeah, you got your job, but can you get a bank that'll give you an account?
So
Yes, you got a little money, but can you get a loan to get the rest? So that
what do
is
you think?
definitely a conversation we need to be having, Lee.
What do you think about the 50-year mortgages that Trump is proposing?
Another
You
sham. Another This is it.
show
Perpetual renting. Perpetual renting. That's all it is. Tell me the difference between renting for 50 years, 50
yeah,
years. Okay,
yeah, and he also there was a caveat to it that they would be mobile.
can I ask you a question? When did you start attempting to purchase your first house?
Ooh, I was in my late 20s, early
Plus
30s.
50 years. Mr.
Yeah,
Rodney, when did you decide to purchase your first house?
well, Rodney got a
I,
lot of kids. He probably bought his when he was about 18.
no, not hardly. I think I was in my late, no, mid to late 20s for my
Okay.
first one.
Yeah, plus 50 years.
Yeah.
Plus 50 years. I mean, when you get done paying at 70 and then they crunch the numbers, it doubles the loan. A 50-year mortgage doubles your APR loan. No, 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 no. Let's talk. That's a
Mm.
$500,000 loan because you can't buy no real house no more for less than fucking. You ain't finna pay less than 100,000.
Well, and there you go. So I'm glad you went that way because while I don't agree with the thought or the premise at all, I understand where it's coming from. You know, but the bigger issue is, to your point, sis, not only the cost of the home, but the inventory of homes. We have to motivate builders to actually build. And if you're saying to me that this is going to entice them to build and then sell to individuals versus companies, I agree with you, Rodney. I was going there. Then okay, I got you. But to Rodney's point and where I was going, I just don't see that happening. I see corporations have really built their portfolios off of renting. They've done that. They've really stuffed their sheets off of renting to folks because there are certain cities in America that it's just too damn costly to live in. I posted an article in our chat the other day, and it was a cat that said he got a job with Google, but lived out of his car for 3 months because he couldn't afford rent in San Francisco. It's crazy. It's $5,000, $6,000 to live in some damn places. Who does that? Who can afford $5,000, $6,000 in freaking rent? Rent $4,000. Hell, down here in Atlanta, in Vegas. If you look at some of the homes for rent in Vegas, you look at a traditional 4.3, it's $2,000 a month. Easy in Vegas. Don't ask me how I know that, Rodney. Just know that I know that. You know what I'm saying? In Atlanta, it's the same thing. Hell, DC, Northern Virginia.
I mean, how
You
can you ask
and
somebody in
a
Kansas
one-bedroom
City,
apartment.
in
Sorry, go ahead.
Kansas City, in Kansas City, Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
for a let me say it right, UDO apartment,
Mm-hmm.
$975.
Mm. Mm. But that's the Chiefs' fault. That's the Chiefs' fault. So when you do stuff like that, when you bring championships to a city, it takes its people to either invest just by investing or move in because they want to be around winners. But if you don't have that infrastructure, if the job market isn't there, and we can talk about the war on jobs as much as we want, we will never stop having that conversation. There were more layoffs announced this week. How does that work? Literally, where are people going to work at? Everyone is not going to start their own business. It's not going to work like that. Everyone does not have business acumen like that. They're not that savvy. It's just not for them. So what are we going to do?
Wake up. Wake up. Stop being the American dodo bird. Like we're asking why are prices so high? Well, imagine being in a boat and you're drilling the holes in your boat yourself and you're still trying to get somewhere. And see, you're thinking by drilling holes in the boat and getting the water, you're like, well, at least we can fill the water bottles. But you're still not going nowhere. That's what you call,
And the water ain't drinkable.
that's what you call a 401k.
Mm.
That's what you call portfolios that are stuck or plumped unnaturally with real estate tycoons and robber barons who are making those 401ks look good. Yeah, your 401k looks great. But now you're saying that that house that was once, worth 120,000, 75,000 is now worth 300,000, 500,000. And you're saying, but hey, look at my portfolio. It's nice though. And are you looking at your portfolio? Are you breaking it down? And to back up what I'm saying, I got that when I went to the state of Minnesota and we were having a conversation about rent control at the state capitol. A couple of lawmakers, they plainly explained. They said, yeah, we could put rent control, but most of our voters have 401ks. And when you look at their portfolios, they are making their retirement off of real estate. And when you control that rent, that's going to hurt their portfolios. And that's part of the problem that we have in America. It's these jackleg fixes that breaks in other places.
Mm.
And so what we have to ask ourselves is, why do we have these unstoppable real estate brokers who go throughout every country? In Atlanta, where you stay, Lee, one of them, I think, was BlackRock, went and pretty much bought an entire black neighborhood in a week's time.
Yeah, huge issue.
So this week I had a meeting with a company that were trying to help me and my staff. We're trying to figure out our benefits, what we're going to do with benefits. And so they gave me a presentation, and they gave us a presentation on life insurance, and then also being able to invest, from those the insurance policy. And it it dawned on me looking at, they were talking about the S&P, they were talking about the index, and then at the bottom they had BlackRock. They had BlackRock at the bottom. And so that's something that I think that we need to discuss on a higher level. We have to stop trying to figure out the technicalities of why getting fucked over is a good thing, because we do that. We will literally summarize and ask the question. So Rashi, when they took away people's pensions and they switched over to this 401k model, that's the reason why it's so hard to afford things. And you add in the tariffs and the cost of metals and things of that nature, that gets passed on to,
Not to mention labor costs, right?
yeah, all those things go up. And so, once
Because
again,
they fired Manuel, so they gotta hire
Mhm,
Todd.
mhm. So those are the types of things that needs to be disbanded. And if the Congress was
Why you
doing,
shaking your damn head, man? I said the truth. They pushed Manuel on out. They handcuffed him and shuffled his ass out, and now it's literally
They
Todd
deported Manuel's ass.
and Tyrone, and you trying to, and Tyrone want his fucking money, and
And
Todd won't,
you know it.
and Tyrone won't lift a brick. I mean, Todd, Todd doesn't lift a brick without his fucking money. So
Mhm,
the actual building costs go up. If the building costs go up, the rent has to go up.
yeah,
When
Yep.
the rent goes up, it,
mhm,
it, it enhances the 401k plan of the investor in real estate.
mhm.
So there's a okay.
And
So
then you got to think, Rocky,
You right. You right on point. Yeah, you right on point.
you got to think it's not even just about the investor, air quote. These are common people. The same people who are saying, damn, man, this house is too high. But look at how my portfolio is growing. You see what I'm saying? Drilling a hole in your own boat, saying, oh, but I got, this, I can fill up the water bottle, but are you going to get anywhere?
that's some deep shit right there. But we saw that. But isn't this like the tail end of the 2008 housing crisis situation?
It's
Are we
worse.
not just right back, or
I think
is
it's
this
worse.
a different finger on the same hand, or
So I think it's worse. I think it's worse because I think that there's a level of intentionality to harm the economy. And I don't think in 2008 they were intentionally trying to harm. I do feel like they were trying to steal, but I don't think they were intentionally trying to harm. And I just saw a piece this morning about the Department of Homeland Security and this $200 million fraud thing they got going on, right? Like they're stealing at every part of the government that he's propped his
Oh,
people.
you talking about the commercial the girl did, the little video?
Well, no, it's not just the video. It's about the person that's up under her husband getting a $200 million contract.
Yeah, to make the video.
No, 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 no. Not just for a video. They're saying that this person that they contracted through, he's responsible for making sure that the borders are safe. They're not just talking about a video. This is an ongoing thing.
Oh, that's something different then.
And
Because
so,
I'm sorry, I saw where Nome was being questioned because there was a no bid contract awarded to um when you chase the money, it was a no bid contract awarded to the husband of her publicist.
well, they
And this
said,
is go ahead.
well, they were saying it wasn't her publicist. They were saying it's because this person works at DHS with her too. It's her husband.
Mhm,
It's slated out in Delaware, and they were saying that that company was created 2 days before they gave the contract, right?
mhm,
So this
mhm.
is an ongoing government vendor. And if you ever did any vending, like if you do vending with the state or the federal government, it is a tedious process. Even to do like for the park board here, it's a tedious process anytime you are doing government vending, right? But that shows you Like, because this person is a vendor, Lee, and that's and the reason why I'm saying like it's not just about publishing. Once they are a vendor, that means that they can go throughout anything. Once you're on as a vendor, and
So, yeah, well, we talked about this from the jump, right? This is all about them stealing off the top. This is what this is all about. It's about money. It's about money and power, and they are definitely skimming right in front of our faces,
I,
and not being shy about it.
I think they
Not
do
being
it. I think they do it worse than skimming. Skimming means you're taking it off the top. Man, they taking the whole pot. Now, what they do is they'll give you the little cream off top. You know, the skim is for you. The skim is for you, right? But the whole pot is for them, right?
Mm.
And so this is a little different, and it's more, in my opinion, this can we can wake up any day and really find out that the U.S. is just flat out broke.
So I've seen two reels that I want to share before we start talking about the vote to end the government shutdown and the shutdown itself. One was this brother was saying Trump is the bull in the china shop
Mm-hmm.
that's tearing up the china shop. It doesn't matter if you take the bull out of the china shop or not. That china will never be able to be put back together again like it was.
Mm-hmm.
There will always be something off about it.
Mm-hmm.
The other was um, the brother Noah, the brother we used to be on the Daily Show, and he was interviewing Jon Stewart.
Yeah,
And he said,
Trevor.
Trevor Noah. He was interviewing Jon Stewart, and he says, Trump is a black light to American democracy.
Mm.
And Jon Stewart was like, for someone that stays in a hotel room, that's a bad analogy. I wish you wouldn't have said that because now I got to think about all the stuff that I may be sleeping on because you may not see it, but you've been sleeping on some mess whenever you're in a hotel room. And I'm thinking about those things because not just the election from a week past, because it's been a week now, but as we moved into this week, the ridiculousness that's gone on, the pardons. He's claiming that he didn't know the Asian dude who does the Bitcoin, but you gave him a pardon. You gave him a personal presidential pardon. Why would you pardon somebody you didn't know? Why would you do that? I'll stop that. Then we move into the vote to end the governmental shutdown this week. Now, you can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it a cave in. You can call it lack of cojones. You can call it political movement. It does not come across like a true victory at all. It comes across like we were sold out by the idea and ideals that the Democrats put before us. I looked at the list of folks who voted for the ending of the shutdown, Democratic side and the Republican side. Vast majority of the folks whom voted for the ending of the government shutdown are not running for re-election again for a couple of years and or are retiring. So they had very little to lose. This was the longest governmental shutdown in U.S. history. It lasted for 43 days. Again, the Democrats put before us that they were fighting for healthcare extensions. I'm sorry, which they did not get uh, for any of us. The only thing that they got
Wait, hold on.
was
Yeah, a later date confirmation. Is that not some man shit? Hey, honey, I need to talk to you. We'll talk later. Like literally, we'll talk. Okay, hey, I have
correct.
some things to address to you about
Correct.
some finances, some stuff I saw missing out of our account.
Right.
All right, honey. Listen, I know that you saw that. I'm not saying you didn't see it, But can we talk about this in 1 to 2 weeks? And
There you go. There you go.
I'll be ready to discuss the money missing out of our account in 1 to 2. That's some deep shit.
Yes, it is.
Well,
So
I do
this
want
is
to say that part of this, though, is the fact that you have so many Republicans that honestly are Democrats. It's time to wake up.
Come on, speak on it. Speak on
I'm
it.
talking about Republicans that voted.
No,
People that voted
no,
Republican.
Democrats that vote Republican.
No. I said exactly what I meant. You got a lot of Republicans or Democrats.
Right.
That's your 8. You just didn't see your team score a touchdown. You didn't just see y'all up by 40. Now you start running touchdowns. You start scoring on the opponent.
Other people's end zone.
So why are you doing that? Right? Because if it's about people being hungry, if it's about all of these things that they're stating, we also saw in a lot of those states governors giving money to those people to cover the SNAP benefits. The governor of Illinois did it. The governor of Minnesota did it. The governor in Maryland did it. The governor in California did it. So then the states start taking care of their own people. You know who weren't taking care of their own people?
The federal government?
No, the red states. Now, see, we do a lot of shit talking between the states, right? This is where the rubber would have met the road. This is where the rubber would have met the road. And this is chess versus checkers, and some checkers players hop their ass on the chessboard. Just telling you, that's what it is. But maybe they're not checker players. Maybe they're just Republicans who call themselves Democrats. And maybe people need to start paying attention to people like the senator inside of Pennsylvania and the shit that he says out of his mouth.
Featherman.
And then you need to take a look at Tim Kaine and some of his. He's a blue dog.
Virginia.
Right?
So,
and
let
also
me
mind, brother, let me cook a little bit here.
Yeah, go.
That the women took over the state. You're dealing with a lot of white male ego too in some of those spaces. Because remember, he was once the who? What was he once to Virginia?
Governor.
Okay. So you got to understand when things start getting pushed a whole different direction, jealousy takes over. Sort of like what you was telling Rashi with that principle of hers. Shit don't make no sense. So why would you go and do it? And one last point. I don't know if Chuck Schumer told them to or not, but there's always something said when you're in charge and the troops don't follow you.
And this is why the call for ACO to step up and see.
I don't know. So I don't know if she would be the answer. I'm gonna leave that to all everybody else.
You meant AOC, right?
I'm sorry. AOC, yes. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't know if AOC.
Don't get me started. Put some spec on that Mexican's name.
Well, I don't know if AOC and Jasmine both are talking about running for Senate.
Right. They didn't already shut Jasmine down. They did some shit. They did some shit under the table where they took some of her power. Like she's on the appropriations committee, right?
Yeah, but
they did something. She said it. She said that when she got ready to flex somehow that somebody had did some underhead and shit, and they did something to her to where she don't have the same amount of power she used to have on the appropriations committee. So she has been on a campaign trail. You know what I'm saying?
So this week she's doing doing some polls in her district to see if the district will support her. Right. So that'll be this week. That's one thing. The second thing too is she stopped speaking as much on a national level and started focusing on Texas because they were trying to take her voice from a national aspect. One thing I do want to point out through all of this, and I said this the night after the election, and me and Rodney had this conversation. Part of it is Ken Martin is here from Minnesota. Typically, what you have is when parties start moving in a specific direction, they typically get their marching orders from the national party. You have not heard under Trump who is in charge of the Republican Party. Name
Trump.
no. Who is the chair of the Republican Party?
It's that woman.
Because somebody occupies the space, but who's the person?
Right.
Ken Martin is over at the DNC. When have you guys seen Ken Martin on television? All this stuff has been going on, right? When have you seen Ken Martin?
I was wrong. It's Joe Grutez.
You ain't seen him. You don't know who the hell Joe looked like, huh?
No, that's the Republican chair. You're right.
But Joe, where's Joe been?
That's
Has anybody heard anything from Joe?
No.
It's the norms. It's the norms that typically happen in politics that has become abnormal in this space. And I only say that because typically when you are the party out of power, your chair
all over TV.
Is over the TV because they're leveling the message.
Yep.
Leveling the message.
And right? To send everything they can get on.
Okay.
To send that message out, to let the party know and let the people know that the party is still fighting. You are absolutely right.
Because if you don't fall in line, what do? They take your money away.
Yeah, they do.
Right? So we had 8 senators who went against the grain.
And I want to call that roll call. That's why I was trying to get into it. So that was Featherman of Pennsylvania, Cortez Masto of Nevada, Kane of Virginia, Dick Durbin in Illinois, Hassan in New Hampshire, Kaheen in New Hampshire, King in Maine, and Schultz in Hawaii. Though they all voted for ending.
What about Rosen?
This was in the Senate. This was in the Senate.
Rosen. Both Nevada senators voted for it.
So what's your game plan, Rodney?
Didn't see that one.
Now, if you know you got legislative that's on some bullshit, what is the gathering's plan for those senators who don't understand that game plan?
The game plan is to primary both of them when their term is up and have a backup to run as a nonpartisan in the general in case the primaries do what the primaries are designed to do, which is to eliminate the competition against the standard bearer for the party.
Okay.
How does that look? Is that a door to door? Is that a I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but when you're ready to topple, when you're ready to remove legislators who are no longer addressing the needs of their constituents, what does that on a regular scale look like? Like, I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm literally, because I'm in Missouri, and we are chocked full of good old boys, but we are spread out in Missouri between St. Louis and Kansas City. There's a small amount of us in the Ozarks and some in Jeff City. But how can we get, because we full of them, Brother Rodney, of people who make decisions against our constituents' needs. So how are we going to get them out of there?
Well, obviously, you have to vote them out. So in order to vote them out, you have to generate the interest and maintain that interest level in the people. Otherwise, the people will fall back into their usual slots of voting for the Democratic incumbent. So it is a very heavy lift to remove an incumbent, especially ones who are supported by AIPAC. So I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I am saying that if the people want to take their power back, they have to start booting people out of office, and they have to have a replacement for the people that they boot out. So it's not waiting for the primary and then voting for who win the primary, because pretty much it's going to be the same person. You have to go and find people that are eligible, capable, have the desire and will. And these are tough things too, but you have to find those people. And then you have to be willing to support those people. That means with treasure, time, and effort. Go to go through the old school way like Mandani did in New York. That's the way that you do it, and that's the way we take our power back. As long as we allow it to be dependent on the money, Elon Musk has just awarded $1 trillion. He just turned one election with, I think, 240 million, I believe. So imagine what he could do with $1 trillion. Not only could he do it here, but he could do it abroad. So in order for the people to take the government back and put it in the hands of the people are going to have to be willing to do something that they haven't done nearly as much of. But we do see it can be done because we see what Mandani did in New York, and for that matter, what Bernie Sanders was able to do previously.
I think, honestly, though, if Elon gets into it, I think it's going to be the technology piece, and you're going to see some BS in the midterms. And I think people have to be aware. Stop being a dodo bird again. Stop thinking that things are fair. That black light thing, Lee. Because if people had to really understand that it's not one person, one vote, even though you should still vote, you got people who are messing with the vote. I think that's important. I also think that it's important that the Democrats do have concise and messaging. And I think that they should be called on the carpet for not having concise messaging, because there's things that there's clues on winning. And when I'm watching this brother inside of Illinois, and I'm listening to Gavin Newsom, and the messaging is amongst those elected officials who are not in DC seems to be conducive. But when you add the DC politicians in, it's not sounding the same. It's not flowing the same. And I think that that's going to be important. The other thing I think that'll be major too is that when we talk about quality of life, that's like the separator. And I'll go back to saying what those 8 did. If you had all of the blue state governors willing to subsidize, and this is why Trump was like saying, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. He was trying to get them to do it. Rashi, how nasty they were. They were cutting off the EBT cards because the feds could control it. They were cutting off the access. So when the states were putting money on the cards, the feds were not allowing the cards to be used. That separates people who are on this red state or this MAGA situation. If you see other people are being fed by their leaders and you're starving, that's the difference. And those 8, they really messed that up. They really, like when I say they really messed that up, they did. So how do you pivot? Because you can't sit in it. It's already done. But what are you going to do about these premiums that's going to go up? Because you have people who have preconditions, and I just heard Trump joking about it this week. They're not even going to grant visas to overweight people to come into this country.
Overweight people?
Yeah. If you are overweight, you cannot get a visa to come to the United States because they're saying you're going to siphon off of our health care.
That sounds like some third right.
Well, all that means is I'm seconds away from being put out of America too.
You know, these are true things that we have to talk about in our community. We have to get off of this vanity pitch. We have to really listen to what they are putting out there. I said, man, a person with a visa. Oh, well, if you're slightly fat, this is his words. If you're slightly fat, we'll let you in. But if you're fat, no, you can't come in here. This is a guy that sits and he makes McDonald's. You know, that's part of his diet.
Well, you know that, yes. I was going to say the same thing, Rodney. That is definitely targeted at black folks because
Rodney,
No,
Lee, no. I ain't trying to be funny now. I done seen some big white people now. They got the resources to get nice and plump.
But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is if you look at your height weight chart, that is not meant for black people. That is not meant for people of color. Because we are not walking around at 6 foot tall at 160 pounds. That is not cute and that ain't cool. You everybody and their mama gonna think your ass on crack. You 130 pounds, 160 pounds, you 6'2".
Or
Ain't
you got
nobody
AIDS.
mama gonna think you're great. There you go. Something got to be wrong with you.
Yeah.
We see you now, sister. Yeah, something got to be wrong with you. Something got to be. We ain't walking around no damn 5'10" and 50 pounds and
Or,
all.
or,
We ain't
or,
doing.
or you're on Ozempic. They will make an exemption for Ozempic.
Okay, well, in our community, something wrong with your ass. You that tall and you that damn skinny. Something wrong. So no, we ain't doing that as a norm. So yeah, so I agree with you. I was going the same daggone way. It's definitely aimed at folks with melanin in their skin, specifically African American, or I'm sorry, or folks from the African diaspora. Let's be clear about that. Rodney, you said how do
Rodney,
you call someone to the carpet when Brother Barry said what he said earlier? I
so
think
Rodney got to start dropping them jewels with his verbs and not with the fingers.
yeah, well, I don't know why he don't be talking, but Rodney, I think the way you do
Yeah,
that
he be
is
typing the hell out of us, and we have
don't.
to incorporate. And
He
it
got to
be
put
such valid
he got to
points,
put
and
his
I'll be
face
like,
up
"What?
to
Are we talking too much for you,
He,
brothers?"
he
Like
be like
saying,
this.
like
He
at
be like,
this point, we like, "Yeah, brother." I thought about this more than 5 years ago. I was
oh
like,
my God.
"Why don't we just have him?" Now, see, this is our issue. Now, look, something is happening to where we can't get into the chat box. When I want to make a comment that other people can see, it asks me to join the chat. So that's something administrative that us as Real Radio need to figure out, so that when Rodney dropped them gems, it's not in our private chat. It's in the chat that everybody can avail themselves with.
So if
mm,
everybody shares their um if
stream.
everybody shares their stream to their Facebook page, then you can just comment on the Facebook page. That's what I do. Like if you look at the comments, I just go, it's what I'm commenting on my phone and not on my laptop. And so I don't have to do that because I can just comment directly to whoever's commenting. I can respond to it directly, or you don't even have to share it. If Lee has it shared and you have it pulled up on a second device, then you can go on Lee's stream or you can go on my stream and you can respond to whatever anybody is saying. But that's the best way to do it. But I was just I had to poke fun at Rodney because Rodney faced me up to the camera.
Yeah, he be going whenever that face get close. You know somebody come through. He be,
And my thing is, the answers, the information be so damn valid, we have to share it secondarily. So it
right.
has to be a way to streamline that, so that people can get hit with it like we get hit with it. Shit, why we got to be the only one in class all weekend? We got to be able to spread the love. But to Brother Rodney's point, listen, there. What did he say? What did Brother Neely Fuller say, Mr. Rodney? If you do not understand white supremacy
Mm-hmm.
and all of its 11 tenets between education, health, media. You can run down the list if you type in Neely Fuller Jr. and the code. It's the code. I just call it the code.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't understand it, when you think you're doing something pro this and you have not analyzed it under the sphere of uh, racism, white pathology, which is what
Mm-hmm.
my friend told me to call it, instead of supremacy, we need to describe it as racism, white pathology, then you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, clearly, you don't even know you haven't filtered it under the right gaze in order to make a positive assessment. And if you can't make a positive assessment, Mr. Rodney, you cannot act on it in a way to actually negate the consequences.
True.
So you have to know and nobody is willing to redo their gaze, not from my personal point of view of what I think is right, but the gaze of racism, white pathology, which rules over and controls your overall behavior, whether you think it does or not. So you're absolutely right, Mr. Rodney. You have to start going to Facebook. You heard what he said, what to do, right, Mr. Rodney? You go to your Facebook page. And when you see our prompt pop up as a live, instead of commenting to just us, because your argument is valid, You should instead put it on Facebook so that other people, whether now or later, can engage with the truth, and they can start, shaping their mindset based on the knowledge that we have to offer here. Because right now, you only school us. And while I am very grateful, the information you give then has to be shared on a wide scale. So if you don't mind, Brother Rodney, just share it with everybody, because we everybody, and we gonna absorb it like everybody, but we don't want to have to try to keep pulling everybody into our understood fold.
I
So
was, I was worried about your back, Rodney. I was worried about your back. I was just worried about your back, brother. You know what? I will say this though, and I think it's just even the requirements about the weight, even saying that hey, they're making families reapply for SNAP benefits because of the accusation of fraud. This dude is Vlad the Impaler. He is he's acting as if the original Dracula per se. He has no affinity for the sick or the poor. And that's something that, it has to be talked about how they are stealing and then they're putting requisites on poor people to access things that are technically, those are national security concerns. You typically take care of your poor so your poor don't become double agents by foreign entities who can then undercurd them with dollars, right?
Yes.
That's why you take care of your poor. And so, but I guess after, because we only got a few minutes left, but after reading those Epstein files and some of the ones that people dropped, I would just say that if you read between the lines, he's bought and paid for by the Russians. And when you understand that, then you understand that they're not worried about those people becoming double agents because he is the ipso facto double agent.
So there was over 20,000 pages of emails released this week on Wednesday of Epstein. I'm sorry, emails, Epstein emails. Some of the highlights, lowlights, whatever the hell you want to call it. Treasury Secretary, no, we can't see you. Treasury Secretary Larry Summers was included in that. Former Treasury Secretary, I'm sorry. He served in the Clinton and Obama administrations. Arthur Michael Wolff was included amongst others. We see that Donald Trump was mentioned several times. We see that it was said from Epstein that Trump knew about the girls, was very well informed about the girls, but he just never said anything about them. I don't know how big of a weight this is going to put around his neck, but I do know there was a dog whistle call because shortly thereafter, Operation, what the hell is it called in the Caribbean? Was called for. God dang it! I'll look it up. I thought I remembered it and I forgot it. But Hegseth launched a military operation in the Caribbean right after this information came out. So he's obviously worried about it, and he should be. It shouldn't be a case where we are discussing the potential raping, sexual misconduct, use, abuse, whatever, of young women in the same time that we're mentioning the President of the United States of America. That ain't cool at all. So in the weeks to come, I'm sure there'll be more and more revelations. Obviously, a part of this governmental shutdown too was to prevent the young lady from getting sworn in from Arizona, the 218th vote on the measure to move the Epstein file vote to the full House floor, which is set for Tuesday this week. I think the delay is a part of them trying their damnedest to get folks to take their name off of the petition so it never hits the House floor. Because when it does, if it does, then everybody's going to have to attach their name to how they voted. And I don't think folks are going to forget this at all come the midterms. I don't think folks are going to forget this at all, honestly, come 2028.
I don't think it's gonna make it that far. And I think people are constantly making it about the girls, and that's not what this is about. And people need to really start reading between the lines. Yes, that's the stuff that's that R. Kelly shit that you black people like.
Right, 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 right.
Raped somebody who slept with somebody. Oh, yeah, that's good, juicy gossip. You know what the people in power want to know? They want to know, was it espionage? Oh, no, not corruption. Espionage on American soil being sold, and was Epstein the middleman between that? Who are the billionaires and the bankers who are able to move and shape things? Why did he call a Russian warlord to say, hey, if Putin wants to talk to Trump, this is how he needs to talk to Trump? How did he have the mental understanding of who Trump was? And keep in mind, Epstein did not go to college. He didn't go to college. Epstein didn't go to college. Epstein was trained by the Mossad to do what he did. And I feel like people, this is the part that's going over most people's head. And salute to Marjorie Taylor Greene, because it's not going over her head. It's not going over her head. She gets it. And I think other people get it.
I mean,
Did you think he would ever say that?
Marjorie,
No.
salute. I'm gonna get that shit. Look, I had ran to the comments. I had to run to the phone because I had it in my pocket. I damn near couldn't look. You say salute.
Yeah, because
to Marjorie, bad butch body.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait, what the fuck? I didn't get it right. You know what I'm talking about.
Blonde bleach, bad
Blonde
butch.
bleach.
Yeah. But you know what, Marjorie Taylor Greene, for whatever her reasoning, you know, the enemy of my enemy is a friend. And she is the second second in the Republican Party in fundraising. So let's not act like she ain't got juice in that party. But she's also a white supremacist. And those talking points about Israel, that comes from that. She's from Georgia. You know, them Klanmen ain't too fond of them Jews now.
Be careful. They calling it now. The new word we saying in order not to get flagged is it's not real.
Okay. Well, I would just tell you part of where she's getting her information from in the community that she serves. And so I think that she is looking at it from the aspect that Epstein was an Israeli agent too, that was able to do this and do Israel bidding and manipulation on American soil. And who are the bankers? See, when Trump is talking about Clinton, and he's talking about the brother, not the brother, but the guy from LinkedIn, the owner of LinkedIn, you know, that's just a distraction. The threat to Trump is the bankers. When those bankers' names start getting dropped, that's when you're going to start seeing furniture moved around the United States. That's when those attempts are going to get a little bit more realer. It won't be no weird ass white boy with an orange wig on, with a bow, with a slingshot trying to get at his ass. That's when it's going to get real. And I think that's where the American people have to start looking at and say, hey, what is he really tied into? Because if Epstein is saying that he can get the Russian to go holler at him, how can a Russian warlord go talk to an American president? Ask yourself, this is why he was president.
He's an oligarch.
Well, it's the money.
Well, no,
it's the money. The warlord got the dough. Trump has shown that he will open the door for anybody with the dough.
No, it's because those are his bosses. It's not about the money. He's never had the money. That's why the whole thing about the mansion in Florida, what Epstein got pissed off about, because it was the warlord who got it for the $65 million, gave Trump the $65 million when Epstein knew Trump didn't have the money. And then Trump turned around and sold it to the warlord for $95 million. a way of washing cash. Okay, so that's what this is about, and that's why this makes this such a sticky situation. Is it bad what happened to the girls? Yes, it is. So I don't want to make sure, like, I don't want to sweep that under the rug, but it's more legs to this story, and that's why the slow dripping is taking place. Mike Johnson just overplayed his hand. He did, and I will tell you all the time that it has taken for them to get, because they got the emails from the estate. And I think that's something that people need to, the difference is the Department of Justice and the FBI have a set of files that I believe that those files have been tampered. I believe that not only have they redacted, but I also believe that they switched files up. Right. And then it's also what Epstein with his estate has. Now, one last point on this, y'all, because I found this interesting last night. I'm watching Don Lemon and Michael Wolff on there. Now, up until this point,
you say Michael Wolff was on there?
Michael Wolff was on there.
Oh, okay. This is getting juicy.
No, it's not. Because this kind of shows you how
Go down
in this country, how white folks, how they think. Don Lemon was talking about Michael Wolff and asked him and said, hey, if the Congress subpoena you, will you go testify? Do you know that Michael Wolff took an offensive tone towards Don Lemon and got to chastising him for asking him this question? Now, before we got to this point, who was on the internet telling us everything about the Epstein files? Michael Wolff, singing like a canary. Singing like a canary. That was not his tone last night, y'all. That was not his tone. And I think people have to really understand how dirty some of this stuff can be in American politics. Because a lot of these people who have information that could save this country is just compromised. And I believe Michael Wolff is compromised. When I got to thinking about him,
he's on the list. He's in the email.
He got the picture with Trump, or he's seen the picture with Trump and the young girls with, it looks like, semen stains on Trump's pants. Where's the photo, Mike? And it's showtime. This show and tell now, brother. If you, as a journalist, imagine if Michael Wolff went out there and told, hey, this is what it is. This is what it's been. I got a book coming out, whatever. He would be the next Deep Throat. If he got all the information, how come he ain't published it?
Because he's implicated. He in them files. That's why he took offense.
because he don't want to die. He don't want to die in he don't want to die like so many of our people died.
Like Jeffrey Epstein.
Hey, what he said?
While he was in prison.
Look, he don't want to do the Freddie Gray, to be dead with no murderer.
Well, Rashi, if that was the case, he never should have went on the tour telling people what he knew.
So Steve Bannon is mentioned as well in the emails.
Pedo City.
So is Woody Allen.
Oh, we know about Woody.
Come on now. He married his adopted daughter. Like, come on.
Man.
Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal. Former White House chancellor.
Can I ask y'all a question? Y'all knew these parties. Y'all knew these parties existed, though, right? Like, they're not surprising you. Y'all knew that there was a subclass of America that could come to an island on a private invitation, and they could do copious amounts of drugs and touch children. And y'all knew this was an actual reality, right?
So what I would say, Rashi, is I knew it was a reality, but let me explain my shock. My shock is in 1998, I stumbled across this guy named Alex Jones, and he had this website called Infowars.com. And he talked about all of this weird stuff that was happening at Bohemian Grove. He talked about the kid sacrifice. He talked about the pedophilia. He linked Bill Clinton. He linked George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush. He linked all of these people. Fast forward to today. Who's Alex Jones? Who's Alex Jones? Who is he?
Ass is cooked. They got it.
But who is he down with today?
Donald Trump.
Okay. And what is
Do
Donald?
he even have a partner in Donald Trump? Like I'm pretty sure when they came when he allowed the people to come after him, ain't that like saying that you don't have
No.
Donald Trump's backing? Because if Donald Trump is with you, he put his lawyers with your lawyers, and they make sure that you don't tell information that'll get him on, in trouble.
No, that was a state. Those are state lawsuits from those families from that school shooting that broke him.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, Sandy Hook.
For Sandy Hook. So Trump couldn't help him with that. But my shock is those people, even going back to Cash Patel, going back to what's the other guy? Is it what's the other guy? He looks Italian. He's
Scaramucci, or he was the guy was in the first administration.
no, he just got to this. He's another one of those podcaster slash ain't got no business in government. When I'm watching all the videos with these people saying that they wanted this to come out, even JD Vance. Okay, we're here now. We're here now. Oh, you don't like pedophiles until you down with the pedophiles. That's why I'm mad at the Democrats, because if my man Howard Dean was running the DNC, he got on George Bush's ass and he said it's just a culture of corruption. And he made sure every talking point for the Democrats was that. I would say right now we should refer to the Republicans as PPP. And that is the Pedophile Protection Party. That's what they
Oh my God. Did you see the video with Ted Cruz from last month?
What did he do?
He asked us to, no, you have to type it up. Say Ted Cruz. He said in these words, and I do quote, "We must stop going after pedophiles. We have to stop attacking pedophiles." Please type in the words Ted Cruz and stop attacking pedophiles. And his whatever that
Is
Senate
you gonna show up?
Baby, when I tell you it's no, I'm not fucking around. I'm telling you actual fact. I already did the deep dive. Type in Ted Cruz, stop attacking pedophiles. He says it. He does not back over it and say, "Oh, I'm sorry." He makes it clear we must in this country stop attacking pedophiles. Please, if you're listening, go type in Ted Cruz and the word "stop attacking pedophiles."
I would love to say I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked by anything that these folks do, because the reality of it is that's the type of time they're on. That's the type of time they've been on. And the ugly truth is, consistently, they have sided with these type of people. And, we had, I believe it was Megyn Kelly, who said that a 15-year-old was acceptable this week. They said that Epstein wasn't a pedophile because he liked 15-year-olds.
Right.
And
They're
there's a huge
questioning
difference between
what
the
is
15-year-old and the 12-year-old. I'm like, chick, they are still underage. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, because that's a point of contention, by the way. What we're considering to be underage, what we're considering to be a pedophilic behavior is actually under legislative consideration right now. So type in pedophilia and the law and see where we are in America actively shifting to redefine what a pedophile is.
Well, we got 7 minutes left in the show. I want to give everyone an opportunity to say what they need to say before we wrap.
Can I go first, please?
Please.
Thomas Berry, I will not be hanging up immediately. There's some advice you said you were going to give me that is vital to my long-term employment. And so I just know that I'm not going to hang up immediately. And secondary, we're at a crucial point in the education phase where children have already clocked out for the end of the year. Cool. If your child has clocked out of normal schooling behavior, please consider reorienting your household, whether you're a grandparent or an auntie or just a homegirl. Consider reorienting orienting your household so that you can inform a child, because we're about to hit the phase of the year where children have decided, whatever you're going to teach me, I'm done learning. So if they can still get that learning at home with their individual families, it would do a lot to shore up the situation that we're having in regular day academia. And that'll do it. And brothers, I'm so glad to be here today. And stepdaddy, and I'm so glad to be here.
Well, stepdaddy, the floor is yours.
Hey, everybody. If you have children in school or not,
That sounds like a
please,
stepdaddy intro.
please pay attention to what's going on with your local school board. Our children are under attack by MAGA through our school boards, because if they take over the schools and they control the child's mind, they don't have to worry about that child when he or she becomes an adult. So please pay attention to what's going on at your local school boards and your education system, because they have declared war against us through our children's education. So look at that. And I want to give a big shout out. That's why I'm wearing my Surge shirt today, because Surge showed up at our school board, and Mr. Al Hines got up there and read him the riot act, and he did it so smooth you would think he was a professor in class when everybody was asleep, because he just gave it to him like that. So we need to be more forceful and purposeful in our children's education if we truly believe that they are our future. That future starts now with them now.
Children are future.
Teach them well and let them, come on,
the way.
show them all.
Thomas Berry, what you got, bro?
No stepchildren. No,
Hey, you at least got a stepsister, so come on.
Oh man, no, I'm just joking, man. Hey, listen, to the people out there, I look tired because I am tired. Man, get some sleep. That's my thing. Get some sleep. What you got to do? Oh, and watch it live. That's all I got to say. I'll be.
Thank you. I was hoping you led with that.
Yeah, the watch is live, and I'm looking forward to it. To the people that pay for early subscriptions, we do have things set up that I'll be emailing you, so you can go ahead and get in. It's very affordable. We made it affordable off the bat. You can go ahead and with $5.99 a month today. We even have you could sign up for free and look around and see what it can do. And the only thing is that it's limited to what you can do. You can only use the panic button twice a month, and you cannot comment on posts or share posts like everyone else. And you have to share anytime you go live. When you have a free account, you don't get to set those parameters of who can see it. We all get to see it across the country. With that being said, I'm proud of this, and the reason why I launched it today. Rest in peace to my cousin James Irvin Berry, because I woke up to his death yesterday. My cousin was a comedian, and I was hoping in February to have him come and be a part of my rollout, because that dude is extremely funny. And so to lose him yesterday, I woke up this morning and I just said, F it. I'm going to launch this thing. We're not going to die in the pursuit of perfection. This is already a monster. And so by the time you get it in February, with the full rollout in February, you'll get the attorney access, you'll get the therapist access, and those things will be a part of it at that time. But for now, oh yeah, and then the police information will be fully in there too by February. But for now, you can use it from start to finish. And yeah, definitely check me out, and I'll be posting more about it. And let's get some folks, let's get some people protected this week. If folks are going through it, if you know that you're having a domestic violence situation, if you're a college student on campus and you're thinking about going out for a date, man, spend that $10, because you never know, that might be the difference between you being sexually assaulted and you actually getting protected by your loved ones.
Mm-hmm. And for me, I was worried beginning of the game. We looked sucky, but now it's 14-3 Notre Dame over Pitt. So I'm a little bit more settled and happy. Thank you all for coming on live. Thank you all for whoever checks us out later, as we come to another end of another Saturday. Hopefully, everyone be safe. Take care of yourselves, your family, and your folks. If no one's told you they love you, we do, and ain't a damn thing you can do about it, family. Until next week, as we do about this time.